Are you having a hard time getting everything done at work? I mean, you're a new manager and man, this can be overwhelming. Get it. Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help new managers become confident leaders with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Okay, listen, you're at work. You've either just been hired as a manager or you've been promoted as a manager, or you know what, you've been doing this for 20 years and it's just not getting any better. You are overwhelmed. You have people, those that are higher up, putting stuff on your desk. You have staff coming to you with complaints. There is so much that you have to get done and you don't know how to manage it all. So we're going to do a couple things. One, I'm going to give you the number one solution to help with this feeling of overwhelm. It is so basic, you're going to say, Mike, this is too basic. But on top of that, what you have left to do, we're going to walk through some simple things that will help you break your day down into bite-sized chunks. The number one thing that I need you to understand when you're overwhelmed at work, as a manager, when you just feel like so much is being put on you, on your desk, on your plate, on whatever you want to put it on, you need to understand that because something has been given to you to do, it does not mean you are the one to do it. You're the boss. You're the supervisor, the manager, the lead, the person that's left in charge. You're being asked to have certain tasks completed by the end of the day, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, in general. It doesn't mean that you're the one doing it. I've said this in other videos, and I've made reference to my course on delegation, link in the description. But because something is put on your desk or handed off to you, you then get to make the decision, is this something that I should delegate to somebody else? And if so, who am I choosing and why is it I'm choosing them? If all of this seems a little bit overwhelming, then you're not sure if people can do it as good as you, you're not sure if you're coming across as too bossy, again, check Delegation 101, my course, link in the description. No pressure. But now let's assume you've realized just because you've asked to get it done doesn't mean you're the one doing it. So you've delegated a lot of your tasks, but you still feel like you're just barely keeping your head above water. There's so much being asked of you and you can't seem to get it done. First thing I want you to do is I want you to create a to-do list. And what I would advise is create the to-do list the day before. When you know, obviously your boss comes today, right now, and says, I need this done. Well, it's going to be shuffling your to-do list. But in general, make your to-do list the night before. Sleep on it. Know that you have a plan of attack when you get to work. I am very much a firm believer in making a to-do list. And those around me know if I've made my to-do list, you have until 5 o'clock the day before you need it to be done for me to figure it out. Otherwise, it probably will not get on my list. And by having a to-do list, it's for those like myself who are very visual, you can see, okay, this is very important. I need to get this done. I have the most creative energy. So this is where I'm going to do this thing. And you just start crossing them off. And as you cross them all, it's a thing called the snowball effect. You start getting momentum and things become not necessarily easier to do, but you have an easier time doing them because you've got momentum, you've got the wins, and you're seeing your progress. You're watching things get crossed off your list. The next thing you want to do is something may have been assigned to you from your boss and they want this done. Sometimes it's hard to get things done when you don't understand what's being asked. And if you don't understand, you need to make sure that you are confident enough to go to your supervisor, your boss, whatever you call them, and say, what exactly is it that I'm required to do? Or what exactly is it you're asking for? When exactly is it to be done? The more clarification that you have on a task, the easier it is for you then to attack it. When you're talking to your boss, another thing to do is, you need to really assess, are you being handed too much? And it is not a sign of weakness if you say to yourself, yeah, I've got way too much going on right now that I can't get done. What I suggest is you, again, talk to your boss, talk to your supervisor, make them aware that you feel like this is a lot. And it's not in a whiny, I can't do this. Why isn't George getting more work? No, it's there's a lot on my plate. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Is there any way to redistribute some of them? Again, if you haven't figured out how to delegate yourself. But you may be able to offload some stuff where your boss is like, yeah, no, that's not, I don't even need that done for the next month. And then it's like, wow, there's some breathing room. So I want to just make it clear that sometimes, yeah, we've got a lot of things to do. We got a lot of pans on the fire, and we don't want anything to get burnt or anyone to get burnt out, including yourself. So assess what has come to your desk. What can you delegate to somebody else? And what can you put on a checklist and start crossing off and getting momentum? And what do you need to talk to your boss about to get clarification on? And finally, these are all small things that you can do to help your day. Listen, when you're running through work and you're overwhelmed and you feel like you can't get ahead of it, how much help do you think you are to your staff? How willing do you think that they're going to be approaching you, knowing or seeing that you're like a chicken with your head cut off and you just are all over the place? It's not going to work out well. You need to center yourself, calm your shit, start your checklist. Here's the final note that I want to end on. Listen, work, it can be stressful. Work, it can feel like things are piling up and it's just overwhelming. But the biggest point you need to understand is work, it's work. There are only a handful of careers where it becomes life and death. So when you take that idea that it's just work, nobody's going to die right now. So let me take a breath. Let me go grab my coffee and just think about what needs to be done. When you're dizzy, when you're in a panic, and when you're feeling stressed, you're not figuring things out. So unplug, walk away, close your door, whatever it has to be. Get your coffee. Think about it. Make your checklist if you hadn't made it the night before. Think about who else could help you in this project. Think about getting some clarification. Being overwhelmed, it happens, but it's not fun if it's constant. And it's the only person who can mitigate this is the person I'm talking to right now. All right, get your coffee and let's get to the next video.